Well, historically, if there was drama in the mountains, they used to send in the big dogs to rescue things. And maybe the 15 teams that hadn't got a stage win were hoping that that would be the case today. Send in the hounds. See, indeed, who might come out on top. Big battle, though, not only to be in the breakaway potentially, but also for the jerseys. Martinez in the polka dots, Leibovitz in the Young Riders jersey, but really, all the attention was on the GC players. What would Jonas Vingegaard and Visma Lease Bike do to stop the march of Tadej Pogacar? He leads this race, he looks in charge, but what about today? Well, if ever there was an opportunity to steal time, it was going to be right here on stage 18. The Glandon, the Madeleine and the Lows, a mountain that has, on 2 occasions in the past, beaten Tadej Pogacar. But he's on such stellar form. Could anyone beat him today? Well, there was a whole peloton that was going to try, I think. 5,600 metres of altitude gain. A day of pain. Quick look at the altimetry. Just said ouch. Look at that. Well, they waved us off, and I've got to tell you, it wasn't the most dramatic start to the day, mainly because an intermediate sprint was up there after just 23 kilometres of racing. And quite frankly, the peloton seems to be in the mood that a sprinter should indeed take the green jersey, and the best hope of that is Jonathan Milan. Slightly uncontested, that intermediate sprint then. Off the back of it, all hell broke loose. Of course it did. Tim Wellens, first to stretch his legs, and UAE Team Emirates probably grateful that they would have somebody posted up the road. Like Van Aert were up there as well for Visma Lease Bike. So all of the usual suspects, you might say, except for one. Primož Roglič, a great man for the mountains. In fact, succeeded here in 2020.
Primož, the UAE is pulling fast, so don't waste that much.
Well, try telling that to somebody that's just sunk his teeth into a juicy steak. And that's precisely what had happened. Roglič was off and up the road. Others, well, they were trying to make amends. In fact, the split in the peloton was so enormous at one time, the breakaway was bigger than indeed the peloton itself. Lenny Martinez, well, that was a slingshot if ever there was one. Saved some energy, possibly got a little bit of help right there. One for the jury, I think. Crossed the Glandon in first place, adding to his points tally until they had a look at it. Arensman also hunting down points, and the peloton itself hunting down a breakaway up the road, and also itself starting to fracture. Well, whenever the terrain goes up, it also comes down, of course, and the Col de Madeleine. Some said that this could be a launch pad for greatness on the day, and the greats themselves were still at over a 3-minute margin for those up the front. Well, such was indeed the impetus into all of the all-category tests that not only the breakaway was thinning down, but the peloton itself was getting ever more selective. And in fact, the gap was starting to tumble.
We do it well at our pace. It's only 25 guys left in the group anyway. Really good. Come on.
Tadej Pogacar responding. 25 guys left in the group. Well, this was forming and reforming. It was a band of brothers, but Leibovitz, I'm afraid, looked like he'd been kicked out of the nest. And then Jonas Vingegaard finally had it, the bit that is, between his teeth, and away he went. And guess what? Tadej Pogacar was absolutely locked on, laser styly. They both burnt down their teammates. Who else would be up the road to help them out? Well, Matthew Jurgensen, for one. A man who said he's not been very well of late. He rode brilliantly, looked to be absolutely at his peak. So the Roglič group had been breached. And then Tadej Pogacar, shoulder to shoulder with Jonas Vingegaard, set off about descending. Leibovitz on their case, and the group with Oscar Onley divorced at this point by over 2 minutes with 64 kilometres to go. At the head of the course, Jorgensen, O'Connor and Rubio, a trio of greats. And then a bit of chit-chat. Roglič coming up, said, get on my wheel, let's do this together. And Florian Leibovitz needed the help. Finally, he set off alone, and other teams, including that of Picnic Post NL, set off to deliver Oscar Onley to what he hoped would be a great day. Well, Jorgensen was on the blower, possibly called back onto duty. Meanwhile, Rubio and O'Connor himself were alone, but not for long. O'Connor pushed on. Had he gone too far, with the big climb up to Col de la Loze still up ahead of him? The Australian desperate to get this job done. He's done it in the Vuelta, he's done it, of course, in the Giro D'Italia, and right now the Tour de France was beckoning. Just over 7 kilometres to go, and the Maillot Jaune still at 3 minutes and 20, but that margin was tumbling, as you can see, constantly. And as we got closer to the line, it looked now like Lipovitz was in a little bit of trouble, and maybe would be handing over the young riders classification and possibly his place, hoping for that podium, of course. Well, the crowds encroached. Up front, O'Connor had gone for it. Onley had bridged over onto the wheel of Tadej Pogacar, which was remarkable. O'Connor took the day, screaming into the ether, and indeed the hailstones. Well, maybe he put a few of those in his G&T later on. Meanwhile, a grand tour is what this is about. And the man in charge is Tadej Pogacar. Coming home in second place, ahead of Jonas Vingegaard at some margin. Oscar Onley, also super brave, denying Aina Rubio, who would tumble into fifth place. Lots of other chops and changes as well within the top 10, but Felix Gall, Roglic, Adam Yates crossing the line. It was a great day and a fabulous day to be a Jayco Olula rider, and especially if you happen to be Ben O'Connor. That was fabulous. Kapow. O'Connor takes it ahead, Pogacar, Vingegaard, Onley and Rubio.
It's the biggest race in the world, but it's for sure the cruelest. So I wanted to have another victory for so many years now. I've been fighting with thirds and fourths and so close, but yeah, I couldn't be proud. Couldn't be more proud of myself and the boys. They back me every single day this whole race, even throughout the pretty rough times. So yeah, thanks to everyone at Jayco Olula, and yeah, it's what the team needed and it's what I needed.
We all needed it. GC standings, Tadej Pogacar extends his lead slightly over Jonas Vingegaard to 4 minutes and 26. Lipovitz still in third, but being chased down only 22 seconds back to Oscar Onley, who's now fourth ahead of Primož Roglic. Spectacular racing yet again, and it doesn't rest up at all, because tomorrow we head to La Plana and the climbing just keeps raining down upon us like punches from the sky. 2 autocategory tests, 3 other categorized climbs along the way. Says Dupuy, Rosselin on the agenda. Enjoyed today's hurt? Well, quite frankly, you're going to get more of it on stage 19. We'll see you then for more great racing.